Good morning. It is Mo with Mo in the Deep End, and I am sorry, Darth Wolfram, but your son is refusing to wake up. So if you could use some of your force powers to make him sleep in his new, more comfy bed, that would be great. And I just realized forgot to take my foot bath, which I bought on, 50% off yesterday, out of the frame, but there you go. I got like a bajillion things done, but not that this morning. Good morning, Veilhammer Media and Eris and Christine. And thank you, Eris, for doing all the modly things that you always do. Do not forget to take your chat from top chat to live chat because YouTube seems to want to make sure that you don't get all the little chats that everyone wants you to see. So if you don't want to be, taken out of all of the fun live chats, just make sure you are on live chat, not top chat. Now, our first story of the day, I have no idea. I hope so. Good morning, Lil Peanut and Broken Baker. Our first story of the day is super de duper important because, boobs, all the important things. Brazilian model Caroline Warner is blasting the country's legal system following her arrest for topless dog walking, which I find to be, the most constitutionally important topic of our time. I mean, why wouldn't one want to walk topless with their dog? Now, me personally, I don't because it's, only what 11 degrees out with the wind chill right now, and Fry tends to pull on his leash. And, I'm just saying maybe when he's a little more trained, we'll try again. But Indiana being Indiana, I who knows? Yeah, it's just terrible. It really it is the justice. It is the injustice of our time. So let's read on. A Brazilian model put her country's legal system on blast after she was arrested earlier this year for public indecency while walking her dogs topless. Caroline Werner, 37, was put in handcuffs in May after the police stopped her outside bare chested or breasted with her nipple region exposed, allegedly, walking across the street from the breach in Bolsonaro, Camboriú, a coastal city in the south of Brazil. Or, Bolsonaro was your old president. I don't know what this name is, but it was a city in Brazil. Uh, I do believe these are the bobs you would like to see. These are, in fact, the bobs you wish to see, and they are blurred. This is a national injustice. Where is Geneva? We must get we NATO. Where is NATO when you need them? Daggone it. Uh, let's see. She was put in handcuffs in May after police stopped her outside for being bare chested. This is crimes against humanity right here. I say we all, shirts and skins forever, hands across America, you know, free the bobs for everyone. Now Werner is criticizing whether Brazil's constitution extends the same liberties to women as men who are free to be shirtless in public, according to Brazilian outlet G1. Quote, unfortunately, in my country, even though the Constitution ensures gender equality, in practice this does not happen. I cannot have the same freedom. I feel coerced into doing so by the system and the repressive interpretation of the law. Yes. Good morning, Peter A. Good morning, Greedy Bloke. Thank you, Wolfram, for your attempts. Uh, look, uh, Duct Tape and Holy Water Productions take no responsibility for actual boob presentations in this. For the love of Cheetos, I don't know how I am still CC'd on my daughter's freaking uh text messages as she is um has gotten a new phone, but apparently we are still intertwined. Yes, this is the civil what in the actual Schnell? This is the civil rights, you know, thing we have all been waiting for. And welcome, Peter A. Good to see you. What should be natural for both genders ends up being denied to one of them in an arbitrary and repressive manner. Werner said she decided to take her top off while walking her dogs home from a day at the beach, as you do. I mean, I randomly, it's a Walmart day. I feel, tired, boob sweat, what have you. It's a hot day. It's the middle of, well, Indiana. It happens. She claims the police violated her due process rights by not allowing her to place a phone call to her family or her lawyer. Ma'am, you is 37. You are just mad you stopped modeling. Allegedly. I could be wrong. Quote, when I arrived at the police station, they took me to a dark cell where I was handcuffed to the cell railing without being the right to communicate with a family member, a friend, or a lawyer. Ma'am, are you sure that Brazil's constitution allows you those rights, or have you watched too much Law and Order and think those rights are universal? Because they might not be universal in Brazil. Not even being a lawyer in America, I don't know if those rights extend to Brazil. I could be wrong. I spent more than an hour in that situation, unable to speak to anyone and being photographed by a lot of guys with their cell phone. No, I'm just kidding. Even though I had asked for and was denied my right to speak to a lawyer several times. Werner, a businesswoman who also has her own bikini line, well, you would think that she would be wandering around in her own bikini, but I mean, as a non-entrepreneur, I don't know. Said that she has traveled all over the world and has not had any issues being topless, but she was appalled that she was detained in the South American country. Well, I mean, the dudes don't seem to with it. In many countries, it's a completely normal practice, she said. A woman's body is not objectified and hypersexualized. Madam, you have your own bikini line. You, in fact, are selling smexiness. For the love of all that is holy. One second, my middle daughter. The joys of parenthood. Yeah, so definitely don't sexualize me. And also I'm selling bikinis with it never fails that everything happens at, the set times I've always given people that I'm going to be doing a stream. But, it is what it is. Teenagers are not well known for remembering other people, but that is okay because as a teen, I don't think I remembered other people. I hope not. God, I hope not. But thank you for that scary thought, Veilhammer. Article 233 of the Penal Code in Brazil describes the charge as, quote, performing an obscene act in public place, either open or exposed to the public. However, the law does not define what an obscene act is, according to G1. Well, I have seen Bryce, what's his face, do a rap and Math Boy Fly, and I think both of those are obscene, so... I've also seen Nancy Pelosi in a bikini, and I have sent that to Mr. Mo many times, and I'm probably guilty. She could face anywhere from 3 months to a year in prison if found guilty. Ma'am, just send them some calendars. I'm sure you'll be fine. Unless you get a female judge, then you're gonna be in prison for the rest of your life. The Santa Clara State Prosecutor's Office is handling the case and has offered her a plea deal, but Werner, who has since moved from whatever state in Brazil that I cannot name, but I will highlight because I don't want to cause cultural offense. This state said she did not attend the hearing. Sweetheart, sweetie, um, sugar, boobs. You do realize that you may be a supermodel. And one second again, I guess Fry needs to go out and be with the boy children. Yeah, no, just because you're a supermodel doesn't mean you get to pick and choose when you go. It's honest to goodness, it's vacation days, and chaos is 6 children. You get used to it. I figured that it was going to be a little bit odd, and I don't blame Fry if you hear a bunch of feral boys out. You're a puppy, you're gonna wanna be where all the crumbs are in case they drop a cookie or cereal. I can understand. So, I can't quite blame them. Broken, I will ask. I think you just have to write in, I'm pretty sure. Good morning, Phoenix Fire and Sarah Adams. Well, there you go, Eris. That is something I didn't think about, but the female judge could be, swing for that team and she could get off scot-free too. I did not think of that. I need to open my mind to possibilities. You are right. It is almost a brand new year. But again, supermodel or not, you cannot just skip court dates. He does want to be where the wild things are. And good morning, Kim. Werner said that the whole incident was being overblown online, where videos of her strolling topless made the rounds. I can't imagine why. My shock and awe. My shock. Quote, "What happened to me, the abuse of authority and judgment by society, demonstrates how the interpretation of laws itself reflects gender conduct dictated by patriarchal violent culture in retaliation of control of female bodies," she said. No, we're going to whiteboard this because I think we all know what happened here. Ma'am, ma'am, it's called, well, let's be honest. You are very attractive, and it's called your boobs were hanging out, ma'am. You had your yiddies just hanging out in the breeze. They were blowing in the wind. They were, free bird all around. There was no patriarchal violence. It was, every single man from, birth to death were gonna look at them, possibly to nurse, possibly to play with. I mean, for the love of all that is Cheetos, there was no violence, and you think a dude wasn't going to share that? You, as a supermodel, you basically made money from the male gaze. You made money from people looking at you. You, in fact, sell little swimsuits. Well, they're basically triangles. You make money selling swimsuits, lying to women, basically saying they can look like you if they buy this swimsuit. I can't with you. Shut the hell up. Either you want the male gaze or you don't. But you done walked around a city block with your yiddies just flowing in the wind or flapping. I mean, look, depending on how gravity works for you as a supermodel, having never been one, for the love of all those Cheetos, why isn't this silent? I have put you on silent. Why aren't you on silent? No idea. But any hoozle, boobs just a flowin'. all out for God, America, and your mom to see, or Brazil. Sorry, you're in Brazil. This is not rocket surgery, all right? Men love boobs. This is not violence. This is boobs. Kansas needs to make Boobs in the Wind. I'm just saying Dust in the Wind is kind of a downer song. Maybe Boobs in the Wind. But again, you make money selling these particular swimsuits and then you want to cry about the male gaze. Either start selling burkinis or shut the hell up and go to your court dates. Your lawyer is probably just rolling the male gaze. I don't know that the male gaze care about her in bikinis, but they'd probably make fun of her. I have never seen more critical people than, look, I'm just saying, if you want the truth, ask your male gay friends, but it's gonna hurt. It's gonna be a little painful. You're gonna learn stuff, but it's gonna hurt. Let's go to the next story. Because, catty and bitchy are a thing, okay? And you might think that we females have like the lid on that, the kind of collective market shareholder kind of position on that. But no, 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 no. Yeah. There are those that are humbled and those that are about to be. And yeah, do not. they, no, they won't. They're like, okay, Shrek. We're gonna need to, it's about like having, yeah, any hoozle. Let's go to the next story. When pizza becomes fatal. A fight over pizza bar tab ends with a man fatally shooting another man. And thank you, Jesus, it didn't happen in Indiana, but it happened in Illinois, our neighbor. So I'm sure it will be blamed on a force multiplier from Indiana. Police in Illinois say a man unalived another man over a dispute over pizza and bar bill. It happened around 8:40 a.m. at Friday at Rosie O'Reilly's in Wheaton, about 30 miles west of Chicago. Who the hell is eating pizza and drinking at 8:40 a.m.? I hope that's a typo. Hells yes. If we tested Wolfram, you have it absolutely right. Misentitled model, if you want to talk about boob abuse, let's talk about mammograms. If we tested for testicular cancer the same way we test for, breast cancer, we'd have different and less invasive testing in a month and a half. In about 2 days, we have different. But I'm going to need to figure out how the hell you're drinking and having pizza at 8:40 a.m. I mean, I'm not knocking it because, leftover pizza in the morning is one of the small pleasures in life, but I'm not a big beer person, so. In Wheaton, about 30 miles west of Chicago, the DuPage County Sheriff's Office responded to the bars for calls of shots fired and found the victim, Dexter Perkins, dead. The detective said Perkins, the suspect, 49-year-old Michael Frund, and two other men began arguing over the bar and pizza tab. A brief scuffle ensued between Perkins and one of the other men outside on the front porch, and Frund allegedly pulled out a force multiplier and fired 2 Freedom Seed warning shots. Now, we do not, as I don't offer legalese advice, since I am not a licensed lawyer nor an unlicensed lawyer, since I don't have a law degree, and I'm not a concealed carry person, go to Bronca, where you will get hard and get hard to convict. But generally, you're not supposed to fire warning Freedom Seed shots. Just the thought. Uh, Perkins then walked up to one of the other men, Frund, standing on the other side of the wood railing, uh, launched another freedom seed, hitting Perkins in the torso and face. Frund, who allegedly used the force multiplier 11 times, walked to his truck, placed the force multiplier in the center console, and deputies took him into custody without incident. They are now charging him with first-degree murder. Now, I'm sure he's probably going to use stand your ground. Yeah, I feel like this was terrible. Look, I know. You guys, it's not my fault if I could just use real words, but YouTube says no. YouTube is like, no, you can't use real words like adults and, CNN and MSNBC and Fox because you are not authoritative news. And I say to them, thank God. Authorities say Perkins did not know Frund or any of the other men involved in the incident. Quote, it's horrible to see this type of violence occur during the holiday season, DuPage County Sheriff James Mendrick said in a statement. DuPage County State Attorney Bob Berlin called the shooting an act of senseless violence. Quote, I wish to offer my sincere condolences to Dexter's family, friends, and wish them strength as they are now forced to continue their lives without the love and friendship they enjoyed with Dexter, he said. Frund is at the DuPage County Jail without bond. His next court date is scheduled for January 18th. Good morning, Spirit Matter. Yeah, this is just dumb. Again, look, everyone has moments in their lives that just always take a moment and, do one of those. If you have seen The Emperor's New Groove, the good Kronk and the bad Kronk, go with the good Kronk. Don't go with the bad Kronk. Always take that little moment. Like, am I going to pay for this moment with 45 years of my life? Will I have to deal with a binger? Always ask yourself that question when you're getting mad. Will I have to deal with an insufferable binger? And, it will make life choices much easier. And I am sincerely sorry to Dexter's family. I can't imagine losing someone in the holiday season and, violently, you know, just for no reason, it seems. I mean, what is a bar tab? What is anything worth? And from someone you don't even know. So it's really ridiculous. And I hope we get some answers beyond, it was dumb and I was being an idiot. But unfortunately, I think it's going to kind of boil down to that. And that's senseless and ridiculous. In other ridiculous news, we have 2023's worst movies. So let's see if, UPI, which I think is Universal Public Information or I can't remember what this publication is, but let's see if their list matches up with my list. So their worst movies are Peter Pan and Wendy. Oh, yes, this was the Disney one where they decided that it was the lost people and they decided that boys, it was the live action and uh, you felt bad for Captain Hook because Peter Pan decided to cut off his hand because he wanted to go back to his mom. Just, I mean, they made Peter Pan into the worst person ever, and Wendy was just insufferable, which Disney, I mean, what are you gonna do? Um, Asteroid City, I have never heard of this one. So Let's see. Though there's certainly more craft on display than many streaming movies below, the script mistakes musings for poignancy and convoluted narrative tricks for whimsy. It makes the craft more frustrating to see it applied to a meandering plot with unfocused themes. This is by comparison to Wes Anderson's own signature style in previous superior effort. I never watched Asteroid City, so I'm sure it was a something. Saltburn. Didn't watch it. I think we're going to find that Mo didn't watch many movies. If it wasn't well, if it wasn't Jurassic Park, 45 or something animated, Mo didn't watch it. The world of rich snobs isn't all that interesting to begin with. It completely falls apart when it treats an interloper's machination as some sort of profound takedown. Shock value becomes shock for its own sake, therefore devoid of impact. No idea. Vacation Friends 2. Hey, hey, Bobby Baloney. We're just looking at the worst movies and finding out that I haven't watched any of them. So I've been spared. But Kim says that she watched Saltburn and yipes. The sequel to a bad comedy, one can expect to see more of the same. Vacation Friends 2 is perhaps even worse because it adds more annoying characters and presumes to further the core ensemble's relationships while failing to do so and failing to invent clever, funny situations for them. Ow. Family Switch? I don't even know. 5, White Man Can't Jump. They did a remake of that? Without Rosie Perez? Giblets. They made a remake of White Men Can't Jump. The remake doesn't have to be better than the original. It need only be entertaining in its own right. This remake doesn't seem to get what was funny about the original and seems scared to tackle its touchy subjects. They made a remake to this? Oh my God, I think we need to have a Discord watch. If they made this without Rosie Perez, I'm calling the UN. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Well, I can understand because, it's all about how ants are communists but that's okay. Okay, I won't torture you. And I am so tired of the girl scientist with no. Okay, look, I understand we want to get girls into STEM, but can we stop with the girl smartass genius who's never had any training, who is insufferable? Can we stop with the Hermione insufferableness? Can we just stop? Like Daria did it well. Daria did it well because she had character flaws, because she was a real person, because she did kind of crappy things and she got called out on it. She was a human character and she had people around her who were insightful and, said, hey, you know, you see the world in a different way. Y- that there were writers that cared and you could watch episodes at different parts of your life like I have, and it hits you differently because it was nuanced writing and there was character depth even in a cartoon. But this is just like sassy girl boss and Ant-Man kind of being dumb. Meg 2 The Trench. Okay, my boys loved it, but my boys are also maybe not Hollywood critics, but Big Effing Sharks. They loved it. So I'm saying they said it was awesome. Ghosted. Never heard of it. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Dementia. Well, look, no one wanted to see this. Everyone hates what's her face, Fleabag. And oh my God, why did they make Indiana Jones an old cranky Jake Skywalker, man that got divorced and, Mud, who, look, Shia LaBeouf is, he was insufferable in the Crystal Skull movie, but to kill him in Vietnam was kind of mean. I mean, dear God. But I mean, does every single character have to get broken down? I mean, can we have not one person? Thank you for that one, Bobby. So there are the worst movies. Though my boys said that Meg 2 was awesome. Oh, well, so, don't believe the critics. But they are easily amused by giant damn dinosaurs or sharks. So, they might not be the critics you want to rely on when, making your movie choices. So, if you like people and you don't like giant sharks, but all I'm saying is it has Jason Statham in it, so I may not have watched for the plot. In other news, Bex may be in for a low county boil, along with her giblet-headed co-author who has been, going out and self-righteously, attacking other people, for cursey words and decorum and, pretending that he doesn't say all the cursey words. Embattled court clerk from Alex Murdaugh's trial faces plagiarism allegations over book about Low Country murder case. Co-author says they will unpublish. So you mean man who claims to have been a journalist for decades and decades, didn't understand what plagiarism was or could not read plagiarisms? A book offering an insider's perspective on the Alex Murdaugh double murder trial is being unceremoniously unpublished by its co-authors in the wake of plagiarism allegations, Law and Crime has learned. She seems so upstanding and moral. I mean, she only tried to influence a trial and, get a juror kind of disjuried or just barred or whatever the hell. And, uh, her son was just wiretapping other people. I mean, I would never believe that she would plagiarize anyone, not Becky. Colton County Clerk of Court Rebecca Becky H. Hill, and from the authority of Flux herself. Becky is a hoe name. Admittedly passed off the work of a BBC journalist as her own in at least one section of her book, Behind the Doors of Justice, The Murdaugh Murders, according to co-author Neil Gordon. The man who claims to have been a journalist for years and years. Credited as the secondary author of the 238-page text, Gordon made the allegations in a December 26 statement announcing both he and Hill, quote, made the difficult decision to unpublish the book and cease sales. The revelation came when the Georgia journalist was reviewing thousands of emails released to the media via open records request, Gordon said in a press release. In one such email exchange, the British journalist shared a lengthy passage from her own forthcoming article about the Palmetto State's longest ever murder trial. The passage, which goes on for some 12 pages, was later reprinted in the book almost verbatim, with seemingly just a few minor edits for purposes of style and convention. Well, in her defense, she was just using the Harvard model plagiarism, documentarian citing. I would say I am just using the Harvard model cite draft. Yeah, so when I confronted Becky about this, she admitted she plagiarized the passage due to deadline pressures, Gordon said in a statement provided to Law and Crime. As a veteran journalist myself, sir, are you a Peggy Hill journalist, like where you do musing and Scrabble entries? Because I'm thinking, I'm beginning to think you are a Peggy Hill journalist, allegedly. Do not come at me. I do use curse words. I am not a lawyer, but I am a fake redhead and I will go nuts, okay? In a follow-up uh, I cannot excuse her behavior, nor can I condone it. In a follow-up email, a representative for Gordon pointed out that the passage sent to Hill by the BBC journalist was shared inadvertently. Quote, her editor is also named Rebecca, and it was meant for her, the spokesperson said. Hill's previously released emails show the reporter asked for her to disregard the draft, but clearly she didn't. After making the discovery, Gordon immediately reached out to the BBC reporter and tried to salvage the book by requesting permission to use the passage. The reporter said, F you. I mean, she declined, referring to the issue to her employer instead. This has blindsided me, Gordon said. Journalism has been my life's work. My credibility and integrity are paramount to everything I do. I can't be associated with anything like plagiarism or curse words. I will no longer partner with Becky Hill on any project. I'd like to apologize to our readers and publicly to BBC and to the reporter. But at least he didn't, use curse words, because F that would be unladylike for him. Come at me, sir, seriously. Self-righteousness about curse words. I'm about done with this man. According to Gordon's representative, there is very little inventory of the book left, so those copies will not be sold. The title is also being removed from online retailers like Amazon, who still happens to have, certain books by certain painters. But this book will be taken off. Because the book is self-published, there isn't an issue about clawing back any payments. Gordon's representative says the scandal is, quote, so raw that the co-authors haven't even had a chance to discuss whether refunds are in order. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get a cease and desist here in my emails in just a little bit. It's going to be like, did you just call me unladylike? I'm definitely very manly. Be like, sir, my voice is deeper than yours. Yeah, I love how I'm sorry, we can't get refunds. We're just too terribly depressed. We're just too saddened. Well, yeah, but he also didn't write it himself either. And he had a whole chapter on syphilis, which I didn't really get, but okay. As of Tuesday afternoon, the book is still available for purchase on Amazon. Quote, I double checked and it's all unpublished, Gordon's agent told Law and Crime. What you are seeing on Amazon is likely copies that Amazon printed and has on hand, or third-party sellers that are selling unused copy. I'm just going to say I'm deaf, and I only speak sign language. And to contact my lawyer, David Helm. Yep. Or my favorite, so when I get these random calls about these payday loans that I never took out, I make up legal firms, like I'll make up Rushdie, Justice, and Muhammad, which I find hilarious because most people don't get it. Or what else have I made up? Oh gosh. Limburg, uh Freud and uh Monroe, doctrine, stick, and uh Adams, Madison, and James, Jefferson, Smith, and I make up so much. It is. Oh, and congratulations, alternate juror, on your indoctrin or not your induction to being a future grandmother, not indoctrination. Yeah, I make up all sorts of stuff like Huey, Dewey, and Louie, or you know, Huey Lewis, the Blues Brothers. I make up a lot of shit when I'm, and they're like, that does not sound like a real legal thing. And I was like, are you, are you questioning my lawyer's identity? So anyway, apparently there's just, there, these are all allegations that she, you know, allegedly, you know, worked with jurors. She allegedly plagiarized. She allegedly was doing this on taxpayer time. It's all the allegations in the world. It's all allegedly. She and Sarah Boone are going to be best friend because it wasn't intentionally. Yay, they're having a girl. Girls are great to start with. And in other news, if you are thinking of tying the knot and you want to go to Vegas, apparently New Year's Eve is going to have lucky numbers. So 1, 2, 3 and counting, Las Vegas weddings could hit a record on New Year's Eve thanks to the dates pattern. So for better or worse, a wave of couples saying I do in Vegas on New Year's Eve could set a record for the city's busiest wedding day ever. That's because 12/31/23 is known in the massive Las Vegas wedding industry as a specialty date, thanks to the repeating 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 pattern, unless you are writing only if you're writing in freedom units, because if you're writing in European units, I think it would be 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. So I think it would be different. I could be wrong, but I think we need to take a more global approach, and I think we could be wrong and it would be different. Icing on the cake, this specialty date falls on a holiday famous for blowout celebrations. There we go. Ooh. Oh, that's how you would say it in I know they say it's the way the army writes states too, and I'm like, why don't you just put it in normal ways? But then my husband's like, everywhere around the world does it this way. And I was like, okay, but can't we do it normal ways? Blow out. It's a lot of hand work, if you will, or mouth hug, if you will. It seems like they would use different, it's a double whammy, said Melody Willis Williams, president of Vegas Weddings, which operates multiple venues. Anytime you get these specialty dates, they're always hugely popular, but tie that in with New Year's and it's a showstopper. So if you want to get married by Elvis or a furry in Vegas, make sure to, well, I hope you've already had your reservations because you might get, you know, Cousin Eddie in Vegas Vacation to marry you instead of, the real Elvis, allegedly. You might not get young Elvis, you might get old Elvis, if you will. Now, if you'd like, I can get, ordained by the Unitarian Church of Universalism and officiate your wedding for a small fee. I don't recommend it. I have no wisdom to give you, and it would be a terrible idea, but I could help. Thank you, Mass. 'Cause okay, it's month, day, then year. It's like your midway decided to change, going from decreasing importance to increasing importance. The US way is plain weird. Well, yeah. Well, Americans are stubborn and illogical. We're like, okay, have you ever tried to talk to a foreigner? Now, you might have thought that I said a teenager, but I said a foreigner. So that is a 4-year-old who believes they are a teenager. Now, I have never had problems with 2-year-olds. I understand that many people have problems with like the terrible twos. My problems were always with the foreignagers because 4-year-olds have the agency to try to argue back with you. And they want to do it by my own self. And they have the logic and the arguing skills to argue with you. America was founded by foreignagers. We were like, you know what? I do it my own self. We're like wagons. I do it my own self. That's why we drive on the opposite side of the road. We're like, you know what? Handbrakes over here. Screw it. Put it on backwards. Don't care. Foreignager. We were like, basic measurements. Well, we didn't get it in time. Screw it. We'll do it my own self. Oregon Trail. Everyone's going to die of dysentery. Screw it. We'll do it our own selves. Just about everything else. Screw it. We'll do it our own selves. I mean, I'm building a shed with a moat. Mr. Mo continues to say that when I get... Yes, that's the youngest, most feral. Mr. Mo's like, when you get an office, and I'm like, in 100 bajillion other years. I need a panic room. If Jared Leto isn't here with cornrows in 5 minutes, I don't need Jodie Foster here. I'm not Harvey or Harvey Hinkle, Henry Hinkle. Look, I am not trying to impress Jodie Foster, but Jared Leto, on the other hand, has aged wonderfully. He's still weird as hell, and I don't need him as Batman, but him in cornrows, okay. But I would like a panic room, please, if possible. He is a strange guy. Look, he's a drama kid. Drama kids are weird. I am a drama kid. That's why I have all the wigs. Mr. Mo did not realize this when he got married to me. I should have disclosed this, but I didn't because Hinckley. Yes, but I didn't. I do. I have asked Mr. Mo if I could get what one of those sheds to put out back, and he's like, "No, I'm going to build you an office." And I was like, "I love you very much, Mr. Mo. I love you and I support you and I want to be more positive and more supportive to you as a wife in this coming years. But fixin' 2 projects do not help me now." Oh, I was like, so, either start building me that moat with lava in it or help me sign a loan for a she shed. And he was like, ma'am. This is the kind of stuff Mr. Mo has to deal with. And for our last story, because we are coming up on the hour and the ferals are getting wild, an orange tabby cat was used by NASA to help, well, shield us from the fact that we're spending so much of our tax dollars on NASA and we still haven't met any aliens. Except for maybe Jared Leto, to be honest with you. An orange tabby cat named Tater steals the show in the first video sent by Laser from deep space. An orange tabby cat named Taters starred in the first video transmitted by laser from deep space, stealing the show as he chased a red laser light. The 15, and of course, in general fashion, none of these news sites are showing the video that corresponds with the story whatsoever. Because for the love of all that is Cheetos, why would we do that? That would be ridiculous. Let's see if we can actually. There we go. Finally, the story. So this still frame is part of the video that was sent from deep space, I guess in conjunction with math and such. The 15-second video was beamed to Earth from NASA's Psyche spacecraft 19 million miles or 30 million kilometers in non-freedom units away. It took less than 2 minutes for the ultra-high definition video to reach Caltech's Palomar Observatory, set at the test system's maximum rate of 267 megabits per second. That is very good, I guess. Look, that's a mathing and a studio, like a smarting thing. Yeah, I yeah. Well, look, NASA realizes that us millennials are, look, I identify as well, very late Gen X, as I am a, an old millennial, but I reject your reality and insert my own, so I am in fact an old Gen X, or a young Gen Xer. And they realize that we will buy anything if you put cats or puppies in it. So they're like, hey, we understand that we're stealing a lot of your tax money for not finding aliens, but here's the cat with laser pointers. And we're like, it didn't work for Captain Marvel, but cat. The video was loaded into Psyche's laser communication experiment before the spacecraft blasted off to a rare metal asteroid in October. The mission team at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory in Pasadena, California, decided to feature an employee's 3-year-old playful kitty. The video was streamed to Earth on December 11th and released by NASA this week. Despite the vast difference, Freiberta, this is why mommy can't get anything done. No, if you would like me to launch your baby, you have to let go of it. No, this. It was released by NASA this week. Despite the vast distance, the test relayed video faster than most broadband internet connections here on Earth, said Project's Ryan Roglan. All right, well, that has been the newsy news. The Ferrells are done with their patience for mommy doing anything but hanging out with them. I am going to be redirecting you guys to Vice's channel. I believe so, if I have buttoned this correctly. But I have decided to add a little bit to the end of this, kind of a Mo's musings, if you will. And I will make a little card for that but for the last couple of days, I have gotten motivation back, and I don't know where it has come from. Honest to God, to me, motivation has always been kind of like Dumbo's feather. Like, okay, never mind. My Mo's musing today is going to be, you know what? Sometimes you just need to surrender to the chaos. If life with 6 children, 1 Freiberto, 5 cats, and 1 Mr. Mo has taught me anything, is that finding humor and grace in chaos is a good thing. And sometimes you just have to surrender to it and realize that things are not going to go as planned. Because if you if you get lost and things are not going correctly, things are not going the way you planned, you will always, always be disappointed. But if you kind of surrender to the fact that things are not going to go to plan, you can have a plan, you can kind of be prepared, but things are just going to happen the way they're going to happen. And try to be as happy and as prepared as possible. I Your attitude is gonna color a lot of it, and that is what I'm really, really working on this year, and I will say that attitude is one thing, but also don't lie to yourself. It is okay to not be okay. Look, I spent almost all of last this past year pretending that I was okay, mouthing those words like, "I am faking it until I'm making it." Look, it is okay to not fake it till you make it. It is okay to have a bad day. But try in your bad day to be grateful. That is why I have my jar behind me starting on the new year. Griffin Wayne Higgins, if you do not get out of here, I am going to lose my mind. Crap, I didn't mute that. Damn it. All right. Well, anyways, I have no more wisdom, people. Feral children will make you lose your mind. Look, no one has it all figured out. We are all faking it till we make it. And if you think someone has all their poo together, they don't. So it's easy to look at me or someone else and think we have it all together, but we don't. We really don't. So don't look at someone else and think, oh, they must have it all together. Because seriously, it's all freaking chaos behind the scenes. I will see you later. Have a wonderful day. And I am redirecting you devices. I believe so. Maybe, possibly. Who knows? I think. I have no idea anymore. Have a great day. Bye, guys. Don't drink from the toilet, Fry. Come on.